He's a silent guardian, a watchful protector, a dark knight.
This is your moment, it's time to rise up. Conquer them all, watch as they fall. There's nothing left in your way. Prove to yourself there's nobody else. Raise up your head and leave no man standing. No man standing. Numb to the pain, no one to blame. Breaking the weak as they fall.
What's going on, webheads? This is Critical Redemption here. I'm going to be reviewing the Amazing Spider-Man game for Xbox 360, PS3, and Wii. This game basically takes place after the events of the first Amazing Spider-Man film. The Amazing Spider-Man, it starts off like a great epilogue of a video game, which comes right after the Amazing Spider-Man film left off. Basically, the plot is, after the defeat of the Lizard, Dr. Connors is locked in an asylum as Alistair Smythe has led Oscorp Industries into the era of robotics. So think about robots, future, and when Gwen sneaks Peter into the lab, they witness that there are cross-species being quarantined and hidden within the lab. They reach and react to Peter's own cross-species nature, and they basically begin to break out, attempt to spread infection through New York. To make matters even worse, Smythe has programmed the robots to eliminate all cross-species, including Peter, aka Spider-Man. To make a long story short, Peter breaks Connors out of the prison and basically hopes they can create an antidote to the newly infectious virus. My opinion, this is well done movie tie-in, and I recommend this to anybody who enjoyed the movie. But with that being said, I want to review this game. I will be reviewing the second game
if I remember correctly.
because I did beat it already. So here's my review. My first impression was to disregard the title Spider-Man 3, which was, in my opinion, a real bad disappointment. It left a bad sour taste in my mouth for Web of Shadows and Shattered Dimensions. While I'm sure many die-hard fans ate this up at day one, is it worth a shot for us non-believers? Okay, everything about the setting and the premise is to be expected, guys. It takes place in the familiar layout of New York City, so you'll be able to web swing throughout New York again, with the addition of the new Oscorp building and, sadly, the old mission of Ellis Island. The story is loosely based on the plot of the movie and branches off to include additional bosses, dangers, and thankfully the game picks up well after Spider-Man receives his powers. So, battle mutated versions of Rhino, Scorpion, and you also track down Felicia Hardy for a beatdown. The Lizard, when he steps out of the line, the biggest threat Spidey faces is the cross-species contamination spreading across NYC. It's up to Spidey to swing into action and save the city, guys. So, like I said, as it turns out, web slinging has been drastically simplified for this better game. The changes made far less likely than Spidey hits the ground while swinging low. Many complaints that people had with this web slinging, or should I say new web sling, is that he wouldn't stick to buildings. He would literally glide in the air, swing in the air without gripping into anything. Spidey is easily to reach nearby rooftops and treetops. Unfortunately, like I said, a few things didn't make that cut. Most notably, there's no fast crawl, which was annoying, and there's no weight shifting to increase momentum at the end of your swing. These were always things that made web slinging speedy and eventful, like in Spider-Man 2 or Web of Shadows. Instead, Amazing reintroduces a concept called web rush mode. Many of you are probably wondering what that is. This allows Spidey a chance to enter a first-person view of Spidey sense. So during this view, everything slows to a near stop, and basically it really the first time that the player gets to experience what it's like to make those split-second decisions Spidey makes on the daily. So with that being said, a reticle can be aimed at enemies for attacks across the roofs, for getaways, and even hidden items for faster collection. You could also collect comic books, but unfortunately, it isn't perfect. Like its predecessor, sometimes Spidey is sent into directions you least want him to go, and this is a letdown. The more familiar you become with the controls, guys, the less likely these mistakes will occur. After an hour or so of playtime, I realized myself I wasn't missing too much about the old swing system. The overall simplification of web slinging brought more joy to the game than it took away, and that's always a good thing. So, there are moderately lengthy load times between levels. There will be people texting each other through the load times. You can see text messages. That was an issue the developers were aware of. In an attempt to make loads seem faster, they have the NYC thoughts, and that's what I was talking. These Twitter-like streams of random posts from the citizens in New York, and with a backdrop of a story. People discuss the creatures, the infections, the environmental hazards caused by the battles between Spidey and his foes. And this, it kind of gets boring. The difficulty levels are entitled Human Easy, Hero Normal, and Superhero Hard. Mastering the art of which one you want to choose will get you through a good portion of the game on any difficulty. The other survival tips is properly upgrade Spidey to the best of his abilities. So leveling up is now categorized into main areas. So for example, character upgrades and tech upgrades. Character upgrades unlock improved stats, faster use of signature moves, and helpful skills like webbing and two baddies at once during stealth. We also have tech upgrades, include suit, impacts, and acid. I think they also include upgrades to the web blasting powers. Some upgrades are unlocked through the story progression as you progress through the story, but a good portion of it is unlocked through the free play. So let's get into free play. Free play is probably the most exciting improvement in the Amazing Spider-Man game. Often at times, free play in Spider-Man movie games have been tasks that get boring after the third or fourth attempt, and I'm sure you guys will agree with me on that. In Amazing, there are the basic car chase mini games, save the citizen sequences, but there's much more. There are also extreme challenges that require Spidey to perform under the pressure of film crew. Spidey quickly makes friends with bossy reporter Whitney Chang, who's a main character in this game, who later asks Spidey to snap pics of strange events in the city. So these areas require some proper camera angles to collect the perfect photo. The game digs deep to bring a variety of extra skins, so you'll unlock, if you go to Peter Parker's apartment or Stan's apartment that he's watching over, and there's hidden Spider-Man symbols scattered throughout the city. You take a picture of these to unlock some of the impressive in-game suits, ranging from the movie vigilante costume to the negative zone. So there's also a ton of, I think there's a total of 41 upgrades, 600 comic pages, and 100 flying comic pages, over 100 indoor pickups, extra found throughout each level. The comic book pages really add up to the full-length Amazing Spider-Man comics, and you can actually read them, which is very impressive. They could be read cover to cover, like I said, in the extra menu. This is one of the coolest collectible concepts I've seen in a while in a Spider-Man game. There's no worry of ending with 599, 600 comic book pages. The game has a menu available in Peter's apartment, like I said, that allows you to revisit past levels to gather missing character bios and art gallery. where you can find the game's concept art, and you'll save pictures from the story mode that you took. Overall, ending this review,
Whitney still needs
my
pictures for her articles.
overall playthrough ended up, I beat it within maybe, let's say, 8 hours, and I left about 2 to 3 of the extra activities untouched. There's an impressive amount of extras and a complete overhaul on the free play. The web swinging is better, and the combat system is much more effective, not to mention some awesome signature moves. The voice acting by Sam Riegel was done fantastically. I liked how he voiced aka Peter, aka Spider-Man. He fit the profile of a nerdy geek, and I thought that was really cool. The Amazing Spider-Man is surprisingly one of the better Spider-Man games out there, besides Spider-Man 2 and Web of Shadows and Shattered Dimensions. But my overall verdict for this game, I'd give it a 4 out of 5. So, in score-wise, I'd give this game an 8 out of 10. This has been Cash with another video game review, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a nice day, and happy gaming, guys.